project is usually above that.
Right.
Time up.
1 minute.
It's close. Close enough. Say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion Derby, second for Smith, approve minutes and agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
2, consider for approval 2080 agreement with the City of Forest City and the Forest City Ambulance Service.
So we have highlighted what the changes were then on it. That's all.
From what you saw, the only real changes would have been, instead of quarterly submissions, it'll be monthly. Look at that.
So this is their new president?
Yeah. Some of the talking points that during the discussions was, the notice of separation, or if we were to terminate it, it talks about the notice has to be 120 days prior, and it started getting more complicated if it, let's see, the renewal process, where's that at? So it's got duration, 1 year, must give a written notice for at least 3 months. So there's a differential there. 120 days notice if it's not 3 months prior to the renewal. So any time during the year other than at the end of it.
Oh.
So say, for instance, if this was this is retroactive last July, if by chance notice was not given 90 days prior to June 30th, then it'd be the 120 day after that would go into effect.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't shorten
it lengthens the process just so people have a chance to get things in place to cover it.
Right.
That's the whole intent of the notification.
Can you get that?
I hadn't heard if the city had approved theirs last night. I know it was on their agenda last night. And if by chance we do have some equipment they use that we have acquired, then that'll be a separate agreement.
In the future.
just not something we wanted to put on this agreement because,
So as items are acquired, then they'll just be
yeah. Well, for instance, whatever happens with this
the vehicle.
vehicle that's been funded, we gotta figure that out separately.
I don't think I have any other questions, so let's see.
Bill, do you have any questions?
No, not really.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the 28E agreement with the City of Forest City and Forest City Ambulance Service for county paramedics and EMTs.
I'll second.
Motion Derby, second from Smith. To approve the 2080 agreement with the City of Forest City and the Forest City Ambulance Service for EMS services. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye.
So what if it wasn't approved last night at their,
And then we're back to square one.
Find out what the sticking point was,
does this need,
address it.
what is, this doesn't need any stamps, what does this need? I'm assuming the one
It's
you gave
dated.
me is the one that needs to
I would think so. I didn't look at it.
come back to you.
I would think it would need a signature.
Here's the signatures, but I don't know. Probably doesn't need a food stamp then if it's got multiple signature spots.
You'll have to sign for Carla then, or?
Man, where did August go?
Same place all 4 months go.
I guess.
Fast.
Turn that back down this way.
There should be at least 2 Augusts.
Well, I like the August that was on Monday.
Yes.
Today, August, I could do without.
Yesterday, August was bad enough. Okay. Scott Minders, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters. We're ready for you.
Did anybody go to that meeting last Thursday night?
We can do number 4 if you want.
Auditor's office will discuss drainage matters. I was gonna figure it must be short.
Turn your hat.
Sneaky.
Yeah,
Sneaky.
yeah.
Yeah, turn your hat. How many
Think of
hats do
anything
you
either.
wear for the
Just a couple.
meeting?
You have a load for open forum.
No. Oh, we can also do number 5 if you want.
Oh, yeah. Shouldn't take too long. Consider for approval reclassification of DD 89 and appoint an engineer.
When Colin and I were looking, we did the pre-classification, not reclassification. So that's what the motion was before. And we just never did an actual motion for the reclass.
Oh, we
so-
didn't?
Because we were waiting for any possible action and
Yeah,
how it
so
would
we
affect it.
can then do that now and appoint him.
I'll make a motion to approve reclassification of DD 89 and appoint engineer.
What engineer? Jacobson, Westergaard?
Yeah, and Colin in particular.
Yes.
I'll second the motion.
A motion from Smith and a second from Derby to approve the reclassification of DD 89 and appoint the engineer as Jacobson Westergaard. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This is the only thing I have for.
Probably go ahead and do the next one too.
Now I suppose we didn't take too long to do the change order. We just didn't have it on the agenda, but that he's here now. So.
Morning. Well, so we got slurry leveling has been going on in the county for about a week, and they have maybe 2 or 3 days left. They're working on R60 south of Scarville, between there and Highway 69. They'll be out here in a couple days, and then hopefully within the next few weeks we'll have microsurfacing starting, and then painting to follow. As you know, we have a couple of maintenance positions being advertised right now. Actually, the advertising is done and the application window ended the 17th. We're looking to get some interviews lined up here pretty soon. We're currently going through applications. I think we got like 17 or something like that for the 2 positions, so pretty happy with that. The mechanic position, we offered to, and has been accepted by Andrew Nicholson. He's a guy from Scarville and has been working in the Hibbing taconite mine in Hibbing, Minnesota for the last something like 7 years. He has a lot of experience with really big heavy equipment and all the way to rebuilds. A lot of really good experience. So we're working on a schedule with him to get a start date, but he has to move here. So we're just kind of keeping in touch with him as he tries to get his house sold and get a new one here. We don't have a start date yet, but
And he'll be the new head mechanic?
he'll be the new assistant mechanic.
Oh, assistant, okay.
Yeah, he'll replace Neil's spot. And
It'd be like a vacation for him, not having to work on that great big stuff.
yeah, it'll be different. I think he's used to working a lot of hours. They work some nights up there because the mining works around the clock and go, and they're short mechanics up there. So I think the pace of things here will be hopefully refreshing for him. I'm really excited to have him on our team. I think he's about as qualified as a candidate we could have found.
And how many applications did you have?
We had 5 for that. 5 all really good ones, I thought. So I wish I could give you a start date and we could kind of get him in here and introduce you, but still waiting on all that. And then our rock and gravel run's almost done. Rock and gravel resurfacing for the year. They have a little bit to do left in Mount Valley, and then the trucks will kind of take a little bit of a break and catch up on some other maintenance items. And eventually we'll do a little bit of shoulder edge rut work and stuff like that, but happy with how that's gone. We've gotten pretty good reviews on the material we're putting down this year. And of course, it's been dry, so the roads look really good, I think. You know, haven't had a lot of wet weather and
No washouts.
traffic to wash them out. Yeah, so they're just in pretty good shape this year. That's all I got. What questions do you have?
So all of the crushed concrete's gonna be used up this year then?
No, it kind of got done after our resurfacing project here. We're just right at the tail end, so we'll be trying to plan for next year for spot loads and then any blend blending.
So it'll be stored where it is now?
Yeah, we'll keep it there. It's probably 2 years worth of material if we use it like we've used it in the past couple of years. If we want to try and ramp that up, maybe it's more like 1.5 years, but we have some leads on more material if we need it, so we'll be probably looking into that next year to make sure that we keep a supply ahead of us and don't run out. At this point, we don't plan to use any this fall unless we get some wet weather and have to do some repairs.
There's a fair pile of concrete by Waffle Center,
At their dump site,
that dump site, yeah.
yeah, I know they've had Fleener crush it in the past and they've used it themselves.
So do they?
That's what they did with their last pile.
Mm-hmm.
But we'd be interested if they were wanting to sell it.
Yeah, I crushed concrete by my shop or not, but it seems like there's rock over it now, so.
It's not worth much until it's crushed, most of the price goes to the crusher, not to the owner. So that's kind of unfortunate.
I think I've said it before, but my whole circle drive is all crushed concrete and it's holding up really well and looks good.
Mhm.
So do we own the spot where that's sitting on, or do we have to pay lease to leave it there for 1.5 years, or?
What we did is sign an agreement with LaHarve, who owns the site, and the agreement says we pay them for the crushing, which then they pay to the contractor who crushes, and then we pay them for royalties, kind of like a gravel pit. So we pay them, I think it was like $1.10 a ton for royalties, and then in the agreement it says they're not allowed to sell the property or anything while the pile's there. And
But we don't pay them anything additional for leaving it sit there for an extra year.
no, maybe rolled into royalties if you want to call it that, but it doesn't take up very much room, and they don't really use it for anything else that I know of other than just staging. And one more thing is, we talked a while back in June about our semi that we ultimately decided to trade in our brand new semi and get another brand new one because of the engine issue. And we have numbers back, firm numbers now, and what we were going to pay, $7,884 for the upgrade, that's what we're going to pay now. The price of the new semi went up, but truck centers agreed to bring that number back down to $134,058 was the price that they told us then, and the price that they're going to honor for us now. So we'll have $7,884 in that kind of upgrade cost. So the way things are going, I guess we're okay with that.
Do we still have the truck, or is it?
Nope, it's been back to truck centers since, I want to say, the second week of July or something. Since then, we've had Lynn Kroll move our equipment twice, and I haven't seen the bill yet on that, but it won't be too much.
So how many months of use did we get out of the truck?
It had gone back and forth a couple times too, so did we get 2 months of use out of it? We barely put any miles on it. And, we don't put a lot of miles on it anyway, but it's the convenience and job to job that we use it for.
What do you think the value of the actual upgrades to this better truck were really worth out of that $7,800? Just curious.
It's a
Yeah.
year model, right?
It's a two years newer model, and then, in there was a major body, change in style, all the way down to the engine and everything, I think. So over 2 years, in the last 2 years, what's just the price of something, the same thing going up, I mean, if they would have kept that truck on their lot and just not sold it for 2 years, it probably would have gone up that much, is my guess.
Over more,
Yeah,
So
quite a bit more, I think.
kind of a wash.
yeah, I think, looking back on this in 5 or 10 years, we'll think, we got a good deal. Or a fair deal, I should say.
Oh, yeah, about 3 months. That's not a big difference. Well, it would have been higher except for the audit price, I guess.
Yeah.
I see there's a new dump truck body or chassis in the yard.
In our yard?
Mm-hmm.
It's in the front?
At the shop.
Okay. It might be that they're gearing up to take it up to Christsteel to get the truck equipment on it. I haven't heard that for sure, but I know that they were going to Harrison to get the truck equipment. Ours is already made, apparently, so it was just trying to get eyes on it, get it back there, and then get a time slot programmed for our truck. So that's my
I
guess.
saw it there last week, and then I saw it out front yesterday, so.
Okay. That could only be what it is, I guess. Most of the stuff we do to it is after it comes back with the snow equipment on it. We'll put beacon light on it and some lights on the plows and put the radio in it, stickers on the doors, things like that.
At the other shop site in Thompson, the recycling trailer has been kind of a back and forth. And I think we're getting it worked out. Initially it was supposed to be by that pole over on the east side by the alley. And then somehow it got moved over to, because of the way they were parking it when they swapped it, it was starting to get in the way of where they parked the pup. So it got moved to the west side, but then the city informed me that that's city right away. You can't do that.
Uh-huh.
So then it's gone back to the other, I've been talking to Ethan on it.
Okay.
So we're hoping through this transition, sooner than later, they're gonna be changing, the company changed.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be going to possibly a roll-off, and it'd be a little easier to place it and
Sure.
probably identify a better spot there rather than the trailer being kind of cockeyed or.
Yeah, I had heard they got placed in front of the pup trailer one time, so that,
Smart thing.
a little bit of foresight, I guess, on what we're trying to do there, try to make our uses compatible.
Sure, good help is hard to find.
Yeah. But
I've been communicating with the guy at the company, and I've been communicating with Ethan, so we'll try and keep moving on it.
yeah,
There's no reason they can't just back one up to the other and just be north and south of each other as they swap them out. I mean, if they keep it over by the alley, it's no problem.
It requires parallel parking talent, and if you're gonna get in behind it, if you park the empty trailer in front of the full trailer and then get your pickup in there, it's not, it's pretty simple, but it might not be to some people.
It's not like it's a four-wheel stand hoist trailer. It's a tandem axle trailer that should be easy to back up to.
Would think. I've seen some people try to back up to things, it can be entertaining.
That's why there's gonna be roll-offs, I think.
All right, anything else for secondary roads?
Just so you're aware, I've been having some conversations with Ethan because I've had some complaints in my district about the, chicken litter. Really doesn't have anything to do with secondary roads, but the complaint said that they were spilling on the roads and that kind of thing, so Ethan is going to check on it, I
Yep.
believe.
That's the update I got from him, and I guess we haven't been made aware of anything and haven't noticed anything ourselves, but
Yeah.
as long as it's off the road and into the field, I guess
Yeah.
that's the main thing.
Is there any regulations of how far it has to be out into the field where they dump the chicken
The
litter?
only time we've ever discussed it was when it was too close to somebody's home place.
And would that be, even the spills themselves, would that be a DNR problem, or not problem, issue for them to
What's your
do?
definition of a spill?
I don't know, I haven't seen it, we'll see what Ethan says.
A little
Probably,
bit drug out for 50 feet, I wouldn't want to get the
I mean,
DNR in.
Litter's dry, so
It's
you
dry.
wouldn't think it'd be
Yeah,
spilled very easily, I guess.
yeah. Well, they have a tendency to heat them up pretty good sometimes. But,
we'll see what Ethan says about it.
Yeah, I guess that seems like it's early to be
oh, they
background
start,
litter, or,
when they start filling up, then they start dumping it in fields.
Clearing beans.
Yeah, they just dump it right on the soybeans usually.
I saw some corn chopped up. And it was in your district yesterday, going from Scarborough to Lake Mills,
Okay,
past the new house.
get rid of it then, I think.
Chopped out some corn, and they had a loader sitting there.
so if it's in the road right away, you can direct those calls to us. If not, I'm not sure.
Okay. I already did.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we'll move on to number 6, consider for approval change order number 2 for DD 92 project.
And we just passed that down, didn't we?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay.
Is the seating for this project included in the general contract or is it separate?
It's in the contract,
Yeah.
because they're gonna do it probably in November.
Other than this change order had an additional seating because of the change.
Oh, okay.
And they added another 0.67 acres that had to be seeded.
Oh,
because of the change.
I see. I talked to Robert yesterday and I don't know why. I don't know if he's mentioned it to you, I guess, but just concerned about the seating taken, and trying to get something established there.
Well,
before.
there's some erosion already.
Yeah.
So,
And Colin has been made aware of that.
So how, just to refresh my memory, how far south did this project go? Right to the road or?
No,
I
just
don't
to the,
think it went all the way.
just to where the ditch used to stop, I guess, where the pipe started.
Okay, so where there's all the weeds growing up in the ditch, that's original.
I think so.
Okay, so he's got a good stand of weeds there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they
There's a good
just,
standard weed there.
shaped it up with a disc and stuff, like a week or two ago, so there shouldn't be anything growing there really at all yet.
Well, I didn't know for sure how far south they had worked before the change orders.
You know,
They
probably
started and stopped. And
probably should check that though, because I don't know where it starts and stops.
unless I could go on
South
Beacon right
end.
now and look
Yeah.
at the overhead shot, what it was.
Yeah, I mean, what they've worked on is bare dirt, and what they didn't is green.
Okay.
So will that be sprayed on with some type of a,
Larson's have their own equipment, so I'm
Yeah,
guessing
I don't
it's
know
like
what they
that.
plan on using.
it's hard to get stuff to grow on that. It's gonna be hard to get stuff to grow on that, other than weeds and cottonwoods. And right west of my home, place on the farm where you
All of
guys
that.
dug out that
So it's a
ditch,
ridge.
kind of fixed it, cause it was
Mm-hmm.
where Schultz's got, had their trailers coming so close there. That really never came back, that, right at the intersection of 440 and the blacktop. Right west of my house.
West of your house.
Mm-hmm. At the intersection.
Isn't that Rognus Brothers? Where the work they did, you mean?
No, this was 2 years ago, and then Secondary Road sprayed it with that green spray, or had it sprayed,
Oh, they have,
seeded.
they have a culvert they replaced there.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That never-
sometimes it
never
takes,
took,
sometimes it doesn't, I mean, even like when you seed your own lawn and have the sprinkler going all the time, it
Yeah.
still doesn't grow.
Well, it's just all clay and, it's no
Yeah.
black dirt.
We'll certainly never brag about our germination rates on those, but it just, there's no good way to do it without a sprinkler and
And
better
black dirt,
topsoil
black
and
dirt,
better
yeah.
soil prep. So all you can do is kind of hopefully mow the weeds later and hope the grass kind of finds its way through. Or the farmer can spray it, off the record.
Yeah. Where are we at? Have we done that one yet?
6.
No.
No, we haven't.
I already circled it and checked it, cause I passed it down, but, I'll make the motion to approve the change order number 2 for DD 92 project.
I'll second it.
Motion Smith and second Derby to approve the change order number 2 for DD 92 project. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Number 7, consider for approval pay estimate number 2 for DD 92 project.
Can you sign that for me, please?
I'll make the
This-
motion to approve the pay estimate number
Already
2 for DD 92 project.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's consent before we pass it though.
Give me a second, or
When you're the chairman of this board.
just do what you want.
There we go.
We're gonna get,
You were holding
We're
it
gonna
to
get a
pass
t-shirt
until
that
you-
says that.
Until it passed.
I wasn't gonna give it to anybody.
so I made the motion on number 7.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'll second it.
Motion Smith and second Derby to approve pay estimate number 2 for DD 92 project. All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, number 8, consider for approval acceptance of completion report for DD 92 and set final public hearing date.
And do you want to stamp that like we normally do with mine?
They get a chance to look at it, good. Then,
Me?
yeah.
It was like, Ken. How about you?
I looked at it last night. I mean, I think the land it's going to be used for, I think it'll be fine.
Chris, they'll be holding payment for the seeding until that
Yes.
happens.
Yep. Plus the 10%. That's the same thing that the folded sheet is.
Oh, it is? Okay. So you just need one stamp of approved
On the front.
on this stamp.
Thanks.
Thank you. This was kind of a drawn out one, wasn't it?
For as small as it was.
Yeah.
I was explaining it to my wife last night when we were out there. Yeah, this took better part of a year. Too many meetings,
Too many meetings on that.
but
Good little ditch.
that's what we're required to do.
Yeah, I don't think there was any option that wasn't
Hashed over.
explored on that one.
Well, they have to feel good about that. It's not like anybody made any rash decisions on it.
No, and you wanna get the landowners.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, same. It's their money.
Right, right.
You can make the motion then.
Yeah, I'll make the motion to approve or accept the completion report for DD 92 and set the final public hearing date
For September 5th
for September
at 9:30.
5th.
I'll second that as long as it's 9:30.
Okay, a motion from Smith and a second from Derby to approve the acceptance of completion report for DD 92 and set the final public hearing for 9/5 at 9:30. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I just need the pay estimate back and then the completion report.
And there's nothing we have to do to the completion report.
No, you're just accepting that you
But
got
should we
it.
have stamped it approved?
No, you made the motion that you accepted it.
So I don't understand it. It's just a document that was approved by minutes.
That's not stamped.
No, you don't need to stamp it. You made the motion to approve it.
Just trying to make that project last as long as I can.
Yeah, there you go.
Stretch that out some more.
Ride that dead horse one more time.
And I sent down the old minutes to sign.
Yep.
That's all I had for open forum.
That's it.
Number 9, we're in open forum. The way I can sign this. Oh, there, man, that. Anything else for open forum? If not, move on to consider for approval auditors transfers.
This was when we did the year-end transfers from Lost and Solid Waste. Solid Waste, Julie had worked with the bank that day to get the final interest. Well, they didn't tell us about the final interest date. So this is making the account finally zero.
That was,
Yeah, we should do the back, but yeah.
that's what I was wondering about. Should I put it on the back too?
The back, yeah, because you're gonna sign that.
I'm just gonna get good at it when I don't get to do it anymore.
Yeah.
That was kind of a weird thing.
So that's a
Yeah.
plus number, right?
What do you mean?
It's not a negative number. Transfer.
Well, the interest goes to us,
Yeah.
so,
It just goes from solid waste fund to the general fund.
Yeah.
Because that fund is supposed to be zero at the end of the fiscal year.
yeah, that stamper's a big responsibility.
Technology is wonderful when it works, and then when it doesn't, right?
So I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's transfers.
I'll second.
Motion Derby, second Smith, to approve the auditor's transfers. All in favor, say aye. Aye. 11, consider for approval semi-monthly county claims.
Okay.
I think it was better when Carla was on the end, because then
But then
Stuff
you
just
still
went
have to
straight
start
to
it.
Oh, yeah.
It's still back
Oh,
and
that's
forth.
Usually you gotta stamp it before I can sign it, so lots
I
of
get
things.
it. I did have a question about, so which departments have clothing allowances?
That would be conservation, all of the sheriff's building,
Secondary roads.
and secondary roads. No, they can wear whatever. They don't have a uniform.
They don't have to wear the white hats. Anybody wear those anymore?
I don't remember seeing much of it, and I've been in a lot of hospitals lately.
Should be retro day.
I'll make a motion to approve the semi-monthly county claims.
I'll second it.
Motion Smith, and a second from Derby to approve the semi-monthly county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there anything else? We stand adjourned.